We are back with part 4 of Trespasser.
I hear congratulations are in order, Inquisitor. Were you inspired by our chat earlier? Don't answer that. I prefer to pretend that was the case. I am certain you and the Commander will be very happy. He is quite a catch.
Is that so?
Oh yes, the Orlesian court is in absolute pandemonium over this, even by their standards.
I hear you've been rebuilding the Seekers.
Slowly, but yes. I managed to find a few of my former comrades who'd scattered to the winds. Some of them were unsuitable, and I did not ask them to return. Others felt as I did, once they read the Lord Seeker's tome. We've since recruited a few candidates who are going through training now, with full disclosure. What comes after this, I cannot be certain. I am making it up as I go along.
Sounds familiar.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
So what do you think of the Chantry?
You ask me just to poke at me and see if I react, don't you? It is what it is. Most Holi's reforms are interesting, to say the least. I hope they last once Leliana is gone. Regardless of what I think, it could have been far worse. You and I both remember the dark times we faced. Sadly, others have far shorter memories.
What do you think of the Exalted Council?
They are frightened of your power, and there is no longer a hole in the sky to remind them that it was needed.
It's just talk, isn't it? What could they actually do?
Individually, very little. As a united front, you do not have that much power, Inquisitor. Even so, I would wait and see where this leads. Calmer heads may yet prevail.
When has that ever been the case?
I'm an optimist. Just ask Varric.
I'll see you later.
Farewell.
Maker, you're a lovely sight.
Have you had a chance to speak with Leliana? Away from work, I mean.
Some, yes. Liliana has kept in contact, unofficially of course, but it's good to see her again. Arguing with her in person is far more satisfying.
Do you remember the first time we came to the Winter Palace?
All too well. I've already answered a half-dozen questions about my personal life. The reason we're here is because we made a difference. That's worth enduring the political small talk.
But you're still glad I'm here to rescue you.
Very much so.
Is there anything I should know?
We were permitted soldiers here, but our every move is watched. Some things never change.
Is there any news from Ferelden? How is your family?
My sister Mia keeps me informed. As I understand, she's training my nephew to best me at chess.
I sense a threat to my commander's chess superiority. I'm sure the defeat will be distressing.
He's 4. You could at least pretend I'd throw the game.
I should go.
Inquisitor?
Up here is Liliana, as well as some notes we're gonna take a peek at.
Divine Victoria?
Please don't. It would be nice to just be Liliana again for a few days.
As you command, most holy. Tell me about your nugs. Did you get any new ones?
Oh yes! A litter was born just a month ago. We are weaning them right now. If you are hoping for one, I'm afraid they're already spoken for.
Do you miss being our spy master?
I think I miss the people more than the work. Josie, Cullen, I didn't notice how much I liked having them near until they weren't. We write, of course, but it's not the same.
Have your agents any news I should hear about?
There is activity in the Tirashan. Strange elves, like those at the Temple of Mythal. No news of Solas, however.
Perhaps later, Leliana.
I'll be right here if you need anything.
Vivienne is just right over here.
Darling, what can I do for you? I wanted your opinion of how Divine Victoria is working out.
Leliana is managing to hold the Chantry together, just barely. Likely your influence.
How are things for the Circle of Magi?
If you call it the Circle while they're in earshot, you'll never hear the end of it, my dear. The College of Enchanters is a ridiculous mess, but it's still a useful institution for training mages.
We'll talk another time.
And we can't miss Dorian. Ooh, I thought there was some loot here. Alright, Dorian.
Good to see you, my friend.
What is this ambassadorship about exactly?
I believe my father set it up, but the Imperium certainly didn't object. They'd love for the Inquisition to fall apart. So they're happy if it seems they consider this council a waste of time.
That makes no sense.
No? If Dread Tevinter actually pushed for the Inquisition's end, everyone else would disagree on principle. So they send a nobody pariah and hope for the best. Makes perfect sense to me.
What did you do in Tevinter while you were away?
I went home. Twice. Father was only there once. Mother was drunk both times. I also went to Carinas to see my good friend Mayveris. Then I settled some of Alexis's affairs. That wasn't fun.
Any thoughts about the Exalted Council?
A few. Divine Victoria needs a new tailor for one. From the paintings of Leliana in that enormous robe, you'd think she was pregnant. Could cause a delicious scandal. As for this whole Exalted Council business, well... I warned you once that no one would thank you for saving the world. Sadly, I'm always right. So long as the Inquisition's around to remind them they're not really in charge, they'll never sleep comfortably. Whether they have the guts to take action, I suppose we'll see.
Another time.
I look forward to it.
Tell me, these strange spaces past the eluvians, are they safe to explore?
None of it has been as bad as the nightmare in the Fade. I can tell you that.
I will take your word for it. And yet, you've accomplished so much in the calm of these past years. I wish you did not have to imperil yourself for us. Again.
I must admit, after years of dinners and paperwork, it feels good to be exploring again.
I only wish you had fewer qunari interrupting your stroll. I will do what I can here. Once the qunari are dealt with, brace yourself. The council is just as relentless.
Nearby on Josephine's table, we have a few notes about what a few other companions have been up to over the last few years. If anyone remembers from the Winter Palace, this door had been a storage facility. Now it is a storage facility of our soldiers with an eluvian, because that makes perfect sense. If you look ahead to the distance, you can see figures running across that bridge.
That path wasn't there before.
It's the qunari, right? Rocks can't move themselves.
We're gonna head down this new path up to a glowing egg.
What am I supposed to do with that?
Shall we see where the qunari went in such a hurry?
Those qunari can't have gotten far. Be ready.
Why do Nelfi mirror dump us in the middle of dwarfy things? And why do we keep going through them?
We need to find out what these qunari were up to. So let's go see, shall we?
Here are some qunari notes that give us a little bit of an idea of what's going on.
Looks like there was a bad cave-in. Look at all that. The qunari have a huge operation here.
But why?
This place isn't stable.
Once again, your mark is glowing. Are you all right?
Well, maybe the anchor can make itself useful down here.
It's a flashlight!
The qunari were definitely up to something. Excavating that cave-in, maybe.
Up here is one of a couple of notes that has evidently been left by an elf who converted to the qun.
After all the places we have been, I hardly expected to find us in another cave.
Cave beats fade.
Look, someone up ahead. I think he's human.
Stay back! Oh, wait. Your hand. Are you the Inquisitor?
Odd to find a human down in the deep roads at all, let alone one surrounded by qunari.
We don't have much time. Please, what the Vidasala is doing, you have to stop her.
The Vidasala?
She's the leader of the qunari here. She hates magic. Her job was to study it and stop it at all costs.
Not anymore. I don't care whether you serve Fen'Harel or not. Someone has to stop her.
Why do the qunari think that the Inquisition serves Fen'Harel?
I don't know. The Vidasala said it, and well... You're Dalish. It made as much sense as anything. We've had agents of Fen'Harel causing trouble all over the crossroads. Sabotage, making spirits attack us. I assume the Inquisition was their army. That you came here because Fen'Harel told you to.
Who are you exactly?
My name is Jeren. Sir Jeren, once. I was a Templar in Kirkwall, until I joined the qun.
You're qunari?
Kirkwall was... madness. Chaos. The qunari were like the eye of a storm. I stand for order and discipline, protecting the innocent from magic. But this plan, it's as mad as Meredith ever was.
What do you mean? This Vidasala's not doing her job anymore?
Almost a complete reversal, actually. This place is a lyrium mining and processing center. The qunari need it for... Have you ever heard of Sarabas? It's a mage. Except qunari mages are much more dangerous than those among humans or elves. Even as a Templar, I'd never seen anything like the power Sarabas can unleash. And now Vidasala is giving them lyrium. A lot of lyrium. It's part of something she calls Dragon's Breath. There's more to it than that, but I couldn't find out what. The qunari don't like it when you ask too many questions.
Where are we? Why are there elven mirrors in the deep roads?
This place is close to something like a lyrium spring. The more we mine, the more there seems to be. As for the mirrors, I don't know. Maybe the elves were mining here too.
What are you doing down here?
The qunari wanted me to teach them everything I knew about lyrium. Where it comes from, everything it can do, how we put it to use. I knew enough from my time in the Order. They figured out more. I'm not sure how. Maybe they got to the Carter.
The qunari can't be mining their own lyrium. It kills anyone who tries, other than dwarves.
It killed the qunari at first. But qunari workers have a discipline only Tranquil can match. And they're quick learners. They figured it out.
That's not seriously the name of the plan, is it? Dragon's Breath.
You know that most Dragon's Breath destroys everything in its path, right? She said it would save the South. That can mean only one thing. An invasion. This mine is the only source of lyrium the qunari have. They're using Gatlock, the explosive powder in the round casks, to mine, so they don't have to touch raw lyrium. If you get the primers from Central Supply, you can prime the Gatlock and detonate it. The mines will go up in flames.
Even if I succeed, will that really stop the Vidasala?
It would be a start. Deep Stalkers and Cave-ins will cut off reinforcements, but they'll still come when they hear trouble. You've got to find the Vidasala to end this war before it begins.
There's no telling how bad things will get when I destroy the mine. You'd better get moving.
I will. Good luck, Inquisitor.
Let's go. We have a lyrium mine to ruin.
Why are dwarves so short but carve their tunnels so tall?
We saw the qunari make these things explode. Maybe we can use them to get out of here.
Dwarfy walls should glow. That's what makes them dwarfy.
Last time, it took an exalted march to stop the qunari, and that barely worked. If they strike now, Thedas may fall.
Another note from our elf.
That looks like a perfect target. Don't you agree, my dear?
If that Templar was telling the truth, the primers should be in here. We're almost there.
Can't help it, I had to climb up here to see if there was anything. And there's not. Here are the primers.
We've got the primers. Let's go explode some Gatlock.
Such a stockpile of lyrium. Even Orzammar doesn't keep this much on hand. Are you quite all right, Inquisitor? It hasn't escaped me that the anchor is acting up.
Worrying about me, Madame de Fer.
Solas was the only one who ever pretended to understand the anchor, but we all know it's dangerous. Dorian and I will have to put our heads together, but we should find some way to slow it down.
Another note from the qunari. I guess they don't like us reading their stuff. Now that we've fought our way out, we are gonna start setting the primers. We have to blow this entire place up and destroy their mining operation.
We're blowing this up, right? Brilliant!
Two. Three. And four, our last one.
Let's get out of here and warn the others about this Dragon's Breath plan.
We may have to swim out, my dear. Let's hurry.
I see you, Baz. Do you see me?
That creepy ass voice is the Vidisala, who somehow, despite not being a mage, can project her voice anywhere.
That barrel already looks primed. We should see where that leads.
As we are coming up to make our escape, we find the Templar who helped us out.
He didn't make it far. So, who gets to tell Cullen and Josephine we're probably at war with the Qun? Anyone?
As if.
They're going to kill me.
Dragon's breath. The qunari always enjoy their metaphors. But what does it mean?
Who knows? Qunari agents moving through eluvians to attack the south is bad enough already.
I still do not understand why they accused the Inquisition of serving Fen'Harel.
We know that Mythal actually exists. It's possible Fen'Harel is still here in some form, too.
What you describe in the ruins certainly implies that the Dread Wolf of Elven legend is a real person.
But how does that implicate us? What made them decide that the Inquisition serves this Fen'Harel?
Hopefully we will learn more after we have stopped them.
Let's see the Exalted Council try to disband the Inquisition after we've saved them from this dragon's breath.
We must find out what Dragon's Breath is first. For now, our only lead is the qunari leader, the
Gentlemen,
My apologies, Lady Josephine. There has been an incident with one of your soldiers.
How dare you? It was bad enough that the Inquisition chose not to inform the Exalted Council of the Qunari Corps.
Ole would have been happy to help with the matter.
But now your own guards are attacking servants? You have overstepped your bounds.
My plan to seize power in Ferelden would hardly start with soldiers scuffling in Orlais, Altegan.
While the Exalted Council is our foremost priority, the Inquisitor will, of course, address this matter personally.
Thank you, Inquisitor. Ole stands ready to assist the Inquisition, as always.
Secrets and lies. Do you understand why we fear your Inquisition? You act as if you're the solution to every problem. How long before you drag us into another war?
Hey, I didn't drag anyone into the first one. Corypheus started that mess. I just cleaned it up.
What's going on here?
The Orlesians tried to take one of our people, Inquisitor. We've secured the area.
This is the Winter Palace. You cannot simply seize control when one of your guards attacks a servant.
The Inquisition is handling this. When some noble commits a crime of fashion, you can take over.
I only asked what he was doing.
And when I refused to bow to the Inquisition's dogs, you attacked me! How would you like us to handle the situation, Inquisitor?
That barrel there, where did it come from?
I was ordered to bring wine for the guests.
You're lying.
Your Inquisition soldiers are completely out of control.
No, we're in control. Keep talking and you'll find yourself in chains.
Please take the servant into custody.
Right away, Your Worship.
Inquisitor?
Ambassador Montillier will explain later. For now, please hold the servant for questioning.
As you say, Inquisitor. Lord Cyril will hear about this.
Inquisitor, I also found this by the barrel. I can't read the language.
Did you resolve the problem with the guard?
The guard is the least of our problems. Someone smuggled Gatlock barrels into the Winter Palace.
Smile, Inquisitor. There are many eyes upon us. At least now we know the true extent of the dragon's breath.
How are you still smiling?
Years of training as a bard, Inquisitor. We cannot show weakness now. Enemies could be watching, or we can let them seize idle conversation between two friends.
You think the dragon's breath is these Gatlock barrels?
Of course. A surprise attack, even through the eluvians, would have met fierce resistance. But if everyone at the Exalted Council died in an explosion, the South would be rudderless, vulnerable to attack. This is what Corypheus should have done after the explosion at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. An attack as swift and unstoppable as the breath of a dragon.
The guard who confronted the servant said she found this note near one of the barrels. It looks like qunari writing.
Let me see. I picked some up from the Iron Bull, though I'm told my accent is atrocious. These are orders for positioning the Gatlock in the palace. When duty has been performed, report to the Vidisala through the mirror marked by a bookcase.
I've been hoping to meet the esteemed Vidisala. How nice of her to invite us over.
Good. While you do that, I will have agents locate the Gatlock barrels and remove them safely. I will also send word to my foreign contacts. We must see where else this dragon could strike.
We get a few different comments from Cole.
Have overstepped themselves.
He died in the darkness so a blue rose could bloom. Being this, being me, it's harder, but better. I like me. Meriden laughs at things I say. It was the same boy. His mother on the ship, his father in their homeland. He grew up lonely. Or didn't. He did not want a body, but she asked him to come. He left a scar when he burned her off his face. Your hand hurts. A heartbeat, not yours, hammering the beat of a song in its final verse. I'm sorry. Her name is different now. Victoria. The old name slips away further each time. She's glad you're here. If you leave and come back, the chest gives you another. That's how we know too much. She killed the girl to save herself. She thinks about the eyes going black. A weapon is an order, not a gift. Rainier, Rainier, Rainier. It still hurts, but you helped make it better. He can mend it now. Hello.
Qunari first, mix with elves, add dwarfs. Ugh, doesn't anyone drink their booze one at a time anymore? And the elves here are still squirrely.
We'll talk later.
Count on seeing you, yeah?
Just in case I forgot to include this.
Hey, boss.
What can you tell me about the Qunari we're dealing with?
These aren't Ben Hasrath. They're specialists, working for a Vidasala. Ben Hasrath handle normal security. The Vidasala's people focus entirely on magic. They find it, they study it, they neutralize it. And they must be desperate if they're using eluvians. I'd expect them to shatter any mirror they find.
I'll talk to you later.
Anytime, boss.
Near Varric, we discover he's been making origami shapes out of the letters he's receiving.
I knew it was foolish to hope the Exalted Council would go smoothly.
At least the sky hasn't torn open again.
Give it time. The day's still young.
Perhaps later, Leliana.
I'll be right here if you need anything. Inquisitor, is there something I can help with?
This time of year, it'll be difficult to find a caravan to go all the way back home. Maybe a sea voyage. I could get captured by burly Qunari pirates. That would be fun.
Another time.
I look forward to it.
Those are the only ones of our companions who have anything new to say following our latest chapter. In our next segment, we are going to keep investigating what the Qunari are up to and how this relates to the Dread Wolf.